The mysterious message. The quiet hum of the alien starship echoed through the sleek metallic hallways as Captain Valorous stood before the large observation window. The stars twinkled outside, but tonight their beauty was lost on her. Her sharp blue eyes were fixed on the small green planet spinning slowly in the vastness of space, Earth. Valorous wasn't just any alien. She was a spy, sent by her people to study humans and decide if they were a threat to the galaxy. For years, she had hidden among them, pretending to be one of them. She had laughed at their jokes, studied their habits, and sent detailed reports back to her homeworld. To her, humans were fascinating yet foolish creatures, brilliant in their creativity, but primitive in their thinking. But tonight, everything had changed. A sudden alert interrupted the silence. The ship's eye, a calm and cold voice, announced, "Incoming transmission from Earth. Origin unknown." Valorous frowned. She hadn't expected any communication, let alone from Earth. Her long, slender fingers moved quickly over the controls, activating the holographic display. The message began with a crackle of static before a human face appeared. A woman with a confident smile and piercing eyes. Valorous immediately recognized her. Dr. Zara, a leading scientist in Earth's technological advancements. Zara was a name that appeared often in Valorous's reports, but the alien had never imagined the scientist would know about her. "Valorous," Zara said, her voice calm but firm. "Or should I say, Agent Psychra of the Valorian Empire. Surprised to hear from us." Valorous's breath caught in her throat. How did this human know her true identity? She had been careful, blending in perfectly. Her disguise was flawless. No one should have known. Zara's smile widened, as if she could see Valorous's confusion. "We've been watching you, Valorous. For years, you thought you were studying us. But in truth, we've been studying you." The words hit Valorous like a punch to the gut. She staggered back, her mind racing. The humans knew who she was. But how? And why reveal it now? Her first instinct was to escape, to flee the solar system and return to her people, but her ship's AI interrupted her thoughts. Warning. External systems disabled. Engines offline. Valorous's heart sank. The humans had already anticipated her reaction. They had neutralized her ship before sending the message. This wasn't just a warning. It was a trap. Zara continued, her tone playful yet laced with authority. "You've underestimated us, Valorous. Your advanced technology left traces, and we followed them. You thought Earth was just a primitive little planet, didn't you? But we're full of surprises." Valorous clenched her fists, anger bubbling beneath her calm exterior. How dare these humans challenge her like this? She was a Valorian, part of one of the most advanced species in the galaxy. These were mere humans, clever perhaps, but still primitive compared to her people. Zara leaned closer into the camera, her eyes gleaming with mischief. "Here's the deal. You can run, but we'll find you. Or you can come back to Earth and have a little chat. We have so much to discuss." The message ended abruptly, and the hologram disappeared, leaving Valorous alone in the dim light of her ship. She stared at the empty space where Zara's face had been, her mind swirling with questions and fears. Were the humans bluffing? Did they truly know her secrets? And what did they mean by a little chat? Her instincts screamed at her to leave, to warn her people about Earth's unexpected capabilities. But a part of her, the part that had always been curious, hesitated. The humans had intrigued her from the moment she arrived on their planet. They were unpredictable, unlike any other species she had encountered. And now, they had outmaneuvered her. "Captain," the AI interrupted her thoughts. "Incoming data suggests the humans have neutralized all escape routes. Recommend immediate action." Valorous took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. This was not how her mission was supposed to go. She was supposed to be the one in control, the one holding all the cards. But now, the humans had flipped the game. Her gaze returned to Earth, the tiny planet glowing against the darkness of space. It seemed almost mocking, as if daring her to come closer. Valoris's lips curled into a determined smile. If the humans wanted to play games, she would play too, but on her terms. "Set course for Earth," she commanded. "Let's see what these humans have to say." As her ship began its slow descent toward the blue and green planet, Valoris couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in her chest. For the first time in her life, she felt exposed, vulnerable. And yet, a strange excitement coursed through her veins. What were the humans planning? And why did Zara seem so confident, almost amused? Valoris didn't know, but she was determined to find out. The unexpected revelation. The Earth loomed large in Valoris's viewport as her ship descended through its atmosphere. Clouds swirled like white ribbons, hiding the mysteries below. The humans had disabled her ship's primary systems, leaving her no choice but to follow their instructions. Despite her advanced training and years of experience, she felt an unfamiliar sensation creeping through her. Unease. Her sleek starship landed softly in the middle of a vast expanse of desert. There was no welcoming party, no visible sign of human presence, only the wind sweeping across the barren landscape. It was too quiet, unnervingly so. As Valoris stepped out, the bright sun reflecting off her metallic armor, her sharp gaze swept the horizon. Her species' advanced sensory abilities detected subtle vibrations beneath the ground. Underground base, she thought. Typical human paranoia. She couldn't help but smirk. Even with their advancements, humans still clung to their fear of the unknown. Suddenly, the ground beneath her feet trembled. A circular platform emerged from the desert floor, revealing the hidden elevator. Valoris hesitated. Every instinct screamed that this was a trap, but retreat was not an option. With a deep breath, she stepped onto the platform. The elevator descended swiftly, the walls around her illuminated by faint blue lights. Her mind raced as she prepared for what awaited her below. Then the elevator stopped with a soft hiss, and the doors slid open. Valoris's sharp eyes adjusted to the dimly lit chamber. Standing in the center was Dr. Zara, dressed in a sleek black uniform that seemed more suited for a soldier than a scientist. Around her, holographic screens displayed images of Valoris, her disguised human form, her ship, and even encrypted transmissions she had sent back to her homeworld. "Welcome, Valoris," Zara said, her voice calm and confident. "Or should I call you Agent Psychra? It's an honor to finally meet you in person." Valoris clenched her fists. "You've gone to great lengths for this meeting, Doctor. I assume you have a purpose." Zara's smirk widened. "Oh, we do. But first, let me clear up a few things. You've been studying us for years, blending in, observing. Impressive work, truly. But did it never occur to you that we might be watching you too?" Valoris stiffened but said nothing. The humans' technology was primitive compared to her people's. How could they have possibly detected her? Zara gestured to one of the holographic screens, which displayed data Valoris instantly recognized. It was her own cloaking signature, decrypted and analyzed. "Your technology is impressive, but it left breadcrumbs. Tiny signals. At first, we didn't know what they were, but once we traced them to your movements, it all clicked." The alien spy felt her confidence waver. The humans had outsmarted her. And worse, they had turned her own technology against her. Still, she refused to show weakness. "And what do you plan to do with this knowledge?" "Use it as leverage." Zara chuckled. "Leverage? No, Valoris. We're beyond that. You see, this isn't just about you. It's about what you represent. Your people sent you here because they see us as a potential threat, or, at the very least, an unknown variable. But you've underestimated us." The chamber lights brightened, revealing rows of advanced human-built machines and devices Valoris couldn't immediately identify. Her sharp mind analyzed their design. Some appeared to be reverse-engineered from Valorian tech. Others were entirely new, displaying creativity that made her pause. "What is this?" Valoris demanded, her voice cold. "A display of your stolen ingenuity." Zara shook her head, her expression serious now. This is the result of what you've inspired us to create. We've been working in the shadows, using what we've learned from you and pushing beyond it. You thought you were studying us, but in reality, you've been helping us grow. Valoris's heart sank as she realized the full extent of the human strategy. They hadn't merely been watching her. They had been evolving because of her. And now, they were showing her just how far they had come. So, Zora continued, stepping closer. Here's the truth, Valoris. You're not the predator here. You're the prey. But we're not here to harm you. We want you to understand that humanity isn't what you think we are. Suspense filled the room as Valoris met Zora's unwavering gaze. And if I refuse to listen? Zora's smirk returned. Then you'll miss out on something extraordinary. Because, Valoris, we didn't just call you here to confront you. We called you here to offer you a choice. The holographic screens flickered, showing images of Earth's rapid advancements, cities powered by clean energy, spaceports sending ships to nearby planets, and even glimpses of human-made starships capable of interstellar travel. Valoris's mind raced. This wasn't the Earth she had studied. This was something new, something unpredictable. And it terrified her. What choice? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Zara leaned in, her smile sharp. Stay and work with us. Learn from us. Or leave and tell your people what you've seen. But know this, if your empire tries to come for us, they'll find a humanity they never expected. The journey to Earth. The alien starship sliced through the cold void of space, its once proud engines now a shadow of their former power. Valoris sat in the command seat, her sharp gaze fixed on the glowing blue-green planet ahead. Earth. The silence in the cockpit was suffocating, broken only by the occasional hum of the ship's disabled systems. The humans had done this, an unthinkable act. They had rendered her advanced Valorian craft vulnerable with their primitive ingenuity. Yet, despite her anger, she couldn't ignore the curiosity bubbling beneath her frustration. How had they done it? She wondered. What else are they hiding? The AI's monotone voice interrupted her thoughts. Approaching Earth's atmosphere. External guidance systems engage. Valoris sneered. External guidance. The humans weren't just welcoming her. They were controlling her every move. They had hijacked her ship's systems, steering it like a puppet. The arrogance of it all. As her ship neared the planet, 3 sleek human-built starships appeared, flanking her like guards escorting a prisoner. Their design was unfamiliar to her. Sleek, efficient, and armed with weapons that glowed faintly with an energy she didn't recognize. For the first time in her long career, Valoris felt unsettled. These are not the humans I studied, she muttered to herself, her voice laced with disbelief. The escort ships transmitted a message. The screen flickered to life, revealing the calm, unbothered face of Dr. Zora. Welcome back to Earth, Valoris, Zora said with a knowing smile. Or should I say, welcome to the new Earth. Valoris clenched her jaw but said nothing. She refused to give Zara the satisfaction of seeing her unease. Instead, she straightened her posture and fixed her cold, calculating eyes on the human. Your theatrics are unnecessary, Doctor. I am here as you demanded. What happens next? Zora's smile didn't waver. What happens next, Captain, is the unveiling of a truth you're not ready for. Before Valoris could retort, Zora's image disappeared, replaced by a live feed of Earth's surface. The view was breathtaking, even to Valoris, who had seen countless worlds. Gleaming cities stretched toward the sky, powered by technology far beyond what her previous reports had indicated. Massive starports hummed with activity, launching ships into the unknown. And then she saw it, a human-built space station, hovering just outside Earth's atmosphere. It was enormous, dwarfing her ship, and radiated energy that felt almost alive. The AI interrupted her thoughts again, initiating docking sequence. Brace for atmospheric entry. The ship rattled slightly as it descended, piercing the atmosphere like a falling star. Valoris tightened her grip on the armrests, her sharp mind racing. This wasn't the Earth she had studied for years. The humans she once considered primitive had transformed into something formidable. As her ship landed in a secluded base far from Earth's major cities, Valorous' sensors detected activity all around her. Heat signatures, machinery, energy fields she couldn't identify. The humans had prepared for her arrival with meticulous precision. The ship's hatch hissed open, revealing a sterile hangar bathed in bright white light. Valorous stepped out, her armored boots clicking against the metal floor. A group of humans stood in formation, their faces calm yet watchful. At their center was Zora, her confident smile intact. "Captain Valorous," Zora said, spreading her arms wide in mock welcome. "I trust your journey was enlightening." Valorous's voice was sharp. "Enough games, Zora. If you've gone through all this trouble to bring me here, then speak plainly. What do you want?" Zora tilted her head, her eyes glinting with amusement. "Patience, Captain. All in good time. For now, let me show you what you've been missing." Two human soldiers stepped forward, holding a small glowing device. Valorous recognized the faint hum of its energy. Valorian technology. Her heart sank. The humans hadn't just discovered her presence, they had reverse-engineered her empire's secrets. "Where did you get this?" Valorous demanded, her voice rising with anger. Zara chuckled. "From you, of course. Your arrival years ago left more clues than you realized. We simply followed the breadcrumbs." Suspense filled the air as Zara stepped closer, holding the device with deliberate care. "You see, Captain, humans are not the simple creatures you believed us to be. We adapt. We evolve. And now, we're ready." "Ready for what?" Valorous asked, her voice low but filled with tension. Zora's smile widened. "For whatever comes next. And trust me, Valorous, you'll want to be part of it." The experiment unveiled. Valorous stood in a massive, dimly lit chamber deep beneath Earth's surface. The air buzzed with an almost imperceptible hum, the sound of advanced technology pulsing all around her. Holographic displays floated midair, projecting images of Earth, distant stars, and something else. Her. Her disguised human form stared back at her from one of the projections, accompanied by notes and data she didn't understand but instinctively knew were damning. Dr. Zara stepped forward from the shadows, her confident strides echoing in the quiet. Behind her, human scientists and engineers worked silently at their stations, their eyes occasionally flicking toward Valorous with a mix of awe and curiosity. "You've been busy, haven't you, Valorous?" Zara said, her tone light, but with an edge of authority. "Blending in, learning our ways, sending your little reports back to your empire. Did you think we wouldn't notice?" Valorous's cold, analytical demeanor didn't waver. "Your species was unremarkable. At least that's what we believed. It seems we were mistaken." Her voice was calm, but her mind raced as she scanned the room for threats and exits. The humans had turned the tables on her, and she didn't like it. Zara chuckled. "Mistaken? That's putting it lightly. You underestimated us, Captain. You thought we were primitive, predictable. But humanity thrives on one thing above all else: the ability to surprise." The scientist gestured, and one of the holographic screens changed. It displayed a timeline, showing the rapid advancements humanity had made in the last decade. Valorous's sharp eyes widened as she recognized some of the technology. Much of it was Valorian in origin, reverse-engineered and improved in ways she hadn't thought possible. "You've been conducting experiments on me," Valorous said, her voice laced with anger. "Tracking my movements, studying my ship, and using my technology without my consent. Is this what you call human ingenuity?" Zora didn't flinch. Instead, she folded her arms and stared directly into Valorous's piercing gaze. "Experimenting? No, Captain. What we did was observe. You came here to spy on us, and in doing so, you left behind breadcrumbs, trails of information your people thought were too advanced for us to follow. But we did. We learned. And now, she waved her hand, and another hologram lit up, this time showing the new human-built starship. It was sleek, powerful, and unlike anything Valorous had ever seen. The energy signature was unmistakable. It wasn't just based on Valorian technology. It surpassed it. "Now, we're ahead," Zora finished, a note of pride in her voice. Valoris's composure faltered for the briefest moment. Her people had always seen humans as a curiosity, a species on the brink of destroying themselves through war or greed. But what stood before her was something far more dangerous, a unified, rapidly advancing civilization with the determination to rewrite its place in the galaxy. "This is reckless," Valorous said, her voice sharp. "Do you have any idea what you're provoking? My people will not stand idly by while you play with fire." Zora smirked. "Oh, we're well aware of the risks. But here's the thing, Valorous, we're not afraid. You see, while you were studying us, we were preparing for you, for your empire, for whatever threats lie beyond this little corner of the galaxy." The chamber's lights dimmed, and a massive holographic map of the galaxy appeared in the air. Zora pointed to a small, glowing dot. Earth. Then, she pointed to a larger cluster of glowing stars far across the map. "That's your empire," Zora said. "We know about it. We know about your resources, your technology, even your tactics. But what you don't know is that we've been building something bigger." Valoris's eyes narrowed. "What are you implying?" Zora's smirk grew sharper. "I'm not implying anything. I'm stating a fact. Humanity isn't just preparing to defend itself. We're preparing to lead." The room fell silent as Valorous processed Zora's words. She had underestimated these humans, and now she realized just how deeply. They weren't just reacting to her presence. They were using it as a springboard to propel themselves into a position of galactic significance. And they weren't asking for permission. "What do you want from me?" Valorous finally asked, her voice low and measured. Zora took a step closer, her expression serious now. "We want you to understand what's happening here. Your empire sent you to judge us, to decide if we're a threat. But now you see the truth. We're not just surviving. We're thriving. And we're ready to face whatever comes next, including your people." Suspense thickened in the air as Zora leaned in, her voice dropping to a near whisper. "So the question is, Valorous, are you going to work with us, or against us?" The human's surprise. The chamber was alive with tension as Valorous stood before an array of glowing holographic displays. Each screen showed Earth's advancements. Towering cities, interstellar ships, and energy systems that rivaled her empire's best technology. But it wasn't just the advancements that unnerved her, it was the human's audacity to reveal it all so openly. Dr. Zora stood nearby, watching Valorous with a knowing smirk. "You've spent years studying us, Captain," Zora began, her voice calm but firm. "Now it's our turn to show you what we've learned from you." With a wave of Zora's hand, the holograms shifted to reveal a massive space station orbiting Earth. Unlike anything Valorous had seen before, it glowed with a strange energy. Her sharp eyes studied its intricate design, recognizing faint traces of Valorian influence. But there was something else, something entirely human. "What is that?" Valorous asked, her tone cold but curious. Zora's smirk widened. "We call it the Nexus, a fusion of your technology and our own creativity. It's not just a station, it's a gateway." Valorous frowned. A gateway to what? Zora didn't answer immediately. Instead, she walked over to another console and activated a new display. It showed a network of similar structures, all in varying stages of construction, scattered across the solar system. "We've developed the means to travel beyond this galaxy," Zora explained. "Not just faster than light, but faster than anything your empire has ever imagined. And it's all thanks to you." Valoris's composure cracked for a moment. "You're lying," she said, though her voice lacked its usual certainty. "No species develops this quickly, not without external help." Zora laughed softly. Help. Captain, we didn't need help. Humans thrive under pressure. When you arrived and began your quiet little mission, you unknowingly gave us the greatest gift, a challenge. We knew you were watching, and that forced us to innovate, to push past limits we didn't even know we had. The chamber dimmed as another hologram appeared, a star map. Valoris's eyes darted over it, and her stomach tightened. It wasn't just a map of Earth's immediate surroundings. It was a strategic overlay of her own empire's territories. How do you know this? Valoris demanded, stepping closer to Zara, her voice sharp and accusing. Zara held her ground, her expression calm. We don't just know. We've intercepted your transmissions, decrypted your data, and studied your strategies. Everything you've reported to your empire has been intercepted by us. And now, we know your weaknesses. Suspense filled the room as Zara gestured to the star map. Certain systems within the Valorian Empire were marked in red, highlighted with notes that indicated their strategic vulnerabilities. Valoris's heart pounded. The humans had turned her espionage mission into a weapon against her people. You've gone too far, Valoris said, her voice trembling with anger. This will provoke war. Zara's expression turned serious. Maybe, but we're ready. Are you? The words hung in the air like a challenge. Valoris couldn't deny the truth anymore. The humans weren't just evolving. They were preparing for something bigger. They weren't merely defending themselves. They were positioning themselves as a power to rival her empire. Suddenly, Zora's tone softened. But war isn't what we want, Valoris. It's not why we called you here. Then what do you want? Valoris demanded, her voice a mix of frustration and confusion. Zara stepped closer, her eyes locked on Valoris. We want an alliance. A partnership. Your empire sees us as a potential threat, but we see something different. Together, humanity and the Valorian Empire could achieve things neither of us could alone. Valoris narrowed her eyes, her mind racing. An alliance? It was an idea she hadn't considered, and one her people would likely reject. Yet, standing here in this chamber, surrounded by evidence of humanity's ingenuity, she couldn't dismiss the possibility entirely. And if I refuse? Valoris asked. Zora's smirk returned, but her eyes were serious. If you refuse, you'll leave here knowing that Earth is no longer the vulnerable planet you once thought it was. And the next time your empire sends someone, they won't find a species on the defensive. They'll find one ready to fight. The choice. The air in the chamber was thick with tension as the hologram of the Valorian fleet loomed before them. Bright red indicators pulsed ominously, showing the fleet's rapid approach toward Earth. Valoris stared at the display, her mind racing. This was no reconnaissance mission. Her people weren't here to negotiate. They were here to eliminate. Dr. Zara stood beside her, calm and composed, her sharp eyes fixed on the display. That's quite the welcoming committee, Zara remarked, her voice laced with a cool sarcasm. Your empire must value you greatly, Captain. Valoris didn't respond immediately. Her gaze remained locked on the flagship at the center of the fleet. She knew that ship well. It belonged to Supreme Commander Xyrax, her superior and one of the most ruthless leaders in the Valorian Empire. If he was here, there would be no talking, no second chances. Zora's voice interrupted her thoughts. You know what they'll do, don't you? They'll see Earth as a threat and strike without hesitation. Millions will die. You're doing. Valoris turned to face Zora, her expression cold but her eyes betraying a flicker of uncertainty. You speak as though this wasn't your plan all along. Humanity's recklessness has provoked this response. Zora didn't flinch. Recklessness? No, Captain. We prepared for this moment. We knew your people might come, and we've made sure we're ready. But this isn't just about us. It's about you. Me? Valoris's voice was sharp. What are you implying? Zara stepped closer, her tone softening but remaining firm. You've lived among us, studied us, seen what we're capable of. You've also seen our flaws, our capacity for destruction, Yes, but also for creation, for unity. The question now is, which side of humanity do you want to face your people? Valorous looked away, her mind in turmoil. Zara's words struck a nerve. She had lived on Earth long enough to witness humanity's resilience, their drive to overcome the impossible. But she had also seen their darker side, their wars, their greed, their capacity for chaos. And yet, standing in this chamber, surrounded by evidence of their ingenuity, she couldn't deny their potential. The hologram shifted, displaying Earth's defenses. It was an impressive array of advanced technology, from orbital cannons to shield generators. But Valorous knew it wouldn't be enough against a fleet as powerful as Hyrax's. The Valorian Empire had spent centuries perfecting its military might. Earth wouldn't stand a chance in a direct confrontation. "You're asking me to betray my people," Valorous said finally, her voice low. Zara shook her head. "No, Captain. I'm asking you to make a choice. Stand with us. Help us bridge the gap between our species, or step aside and let your people destroy everything we've built." The chamber fell silent as Valorous considered her options. She had always been loyal to the Valorian Empire, following orders without question. But now, for the first time, she felt the weight of doubt pressing down on her. Her people didn't understand humans the way she did. They saw Earth as a threat to be neutralized, not as a potential ally. But if she chose to stand with the humans, she would be branded a traitor, hunted by her own kind. The thought sent a shiver down her spine. The hologram flickered again, this time showing a close-up of the Valorian fleet. The countdown to their arrival ticked down ominously. 15 minutes. Zara stepped closer, her voice quiet but firm. "You're out of time. Valorous, what will it be?" A new alliance. The Valorian fleet hovered above Earth's atmosphere, its sleek, menacing ships gleaming against the backdrop of space. The flagship at the center, an enormous vessel bristling with weaponry, radiated power and authority. On board, Supreme Commander Hyrax stood at the command deck, his piercing gaze fixed on the blue planet below. "Activate the targeting systems," Hyrax ordered, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. "Prepare to eliminate the human threat." As his officers carried out the command, a holographic transmission interrupted the sequence. The image flickered before stabilizing to reveal Valorous, standing tall and resolute, her piercing eyes locked onto Hyrax. "Commander," Valorous began, her voice steady but firm, "stand down. Earth is not the threat you believe it to be." Hyrax's expression darkened. "Agent Psychra, your mission was to observe, not interfere. You've overstepped your bounds." Valorous didn't flinch. "I've done more than observe. I've learned. And what I've discovered is that humanity is not our enemy. They are our greatest opportunity." Hyrax's eyes narrowed. "Opportunity. These primitives. They are a danger to the stability of the galaxy. They must be neutralized before they become uncontrollable." Valorous stepped closer to the holographic interface, her voice rising with urgency. "You underestimate them, Commander. Yes, they are flawed, but they are also capable of incredible ingenuity and resilience. If we destroy them now, we lose the chance to forge an alliance that could reshape the galaxy." Hyrax's silence was heavy with tension. He turned to his officers. "Cut the transmission." But before they could comply, another hologram appeared beside Valorous. "Dr. Zora." She stood confidently, her gaze unyielding as she addressed Hyrax directly. "Commander Hyrax," Zora said, her tone calm but commanding, "you've seen our progress. You know what we're capable of. Do you really think war with humanity will be as easy as you imagine?" Hyrax's lip curled in disdain. "You dare to challenge the Valorian Empire. Your arrogance will be your undoing." Zara smiled faintly. "It's not arrogance, it's confidence. You may destroy us, but not without great cost to your empire. And even if you succeed, humanity's legacy will live on. We've shared our knowledge with other species across the galaxy. The seeds of our ideas are already planted." Valorous seized the moment. "Commander, if you attack, you'll ignite a war that could destabilize the entire galaxy. But if you listen, if you consider the potential of an alliance, we could create something far greater than conquest." For a moment, Thyrax seemed to waver. The weight of the decision pressed on him, and the bridge was silent except for the hum of the ship's systems. Finally, he spoke, his tone measured but sharp. "You're asking me to abandon centuries of protocol, to risk everything for the sake of a species we barely understand." Valorous straightened, her voice resolute. "Yes, Commander, because sometimes the greatest risks lead to the greatest rewards." The tension in the room was palpable. Then, Thyrax's lips curled into a thin smile. "Very well, Agent Psychra. You've earned your chance. But know this, if this alliance fails, the blame will fall squarely on you." The transmission ended, and aboard Earth, Valorous exhaled deeply, the weight of the moment finally catching up to her. Dr. Zora placed a hand on her shoulder, her expression softer now. "You did it," Zora said. "You bought us time." Valorous nodded, though her mind was already racing. "This is just the beginning. Thyrax may have agreed to stand down, but trust is fragile. We'll need to prove that humanity is worthy of this alliance." Ending twist. As Earth's defenses deactivate and the Valorian fleet retreats to a safe distance, Valorous receives a private message from Thyrax. His words are chilling. "You may have spared Earth today, but the Empire will be watching. If they falter, there will be no second chances." Meanwhile, in a distant corner of the galaxy, an ancient and dormant force stirs, its energy rippling through the stars. Unbeknownst to both humanity and the Valorian Empire, a far greater threat is awakening, one that will force them to stand together or perish apart.